Wow, a Hydralisk then also comes into play. Naugrim really has been droning up, so he is in the almost in the worker advantage, but he builds something else, so he's again in the disadvantage. And now building Hydralisk and Circling, so not making that difference smaller. WhiteRa going for more of an economic style, while Naugrim seems to expand again. So maybe Naugrim will catch up with WhiteRa because of taking that expansion, but with that first observer going out, I do not think WhiteRa is going to let that happen. WhiteRa now moving out as he checked out with his observer. The rocks are down, the army is chilling over here. WhiteRa not producing anything at the moment, scaring away this overlord, and 2 spine crawlers together with a big army of circlings and roaches is defending this position for Naugrim. WhiteRa deciding not to engage. Waiting for some more scouting information or something to get finished. Robotics Bay now coming in together with ground armor, checking out for expansion, while this expansion goes up just after this observer leaves the base. Very good play by by Naugrim here, and spotting the observer, and once it left, putting down that expansion. WhiteRa now also deciding to take down his destructible rocks to go and expand as well, as he wants to wait for those colossi to come out and march over his opponent. Observer is going to spot this expansion going up, so will he respond by putting up an expansion, or will he respond by engaging? More stalkers now being put in the mix while the first colossi are being built. And as we look army wise, WhiteRa is able to summon up a bigger army, while Naugrim is finally catching up in the drone production. Also, with that third expansion in mind, he did pull out some extra drones. And as we look at the army composition, WhiteRa is very diverse, with 9 sentries, 6 stalkers, 3 immortals, 10 zealots, and a colossi coming in, while WhiteRa massed up 35 circlings, 15 hydralisks and 7 roaches, with more hydralisks on the way. So for both players it's quite a diverse army. We will see how both players will be able to use both units, all the units, to their best advantage. And I think if the colossi are moved, are used correctly, they will win the fight, especially together with those sentries. The Zerg army is not able to come near those colossi with 9 range. And as we can see, thermal lenses is being researched. Will Naugrim make that counter attack before WhiteRa gets his colossi? 2 colossi joining in on the battleground in a moment, and more probes are being produced to keep up in the macro game. 50 versus 84 now in harvester count for both players, and both players are trying to keep up while they are still just trying to scout around and chill out in front of their bases. Income wise, both players are quite the same. Army wise, WhiteRa is still in the advantage, having 3 colossi now and starting to move out. Just making tons of pylons because he is supply locked, and now thinking of moving out just because he is supply locked. Not sure if that's always the best thing, because as we look at the supply, Naugrim is on the upper hand at the moment, but with some very good placed force fields and 4 colossi killing in on all those units. As we look at the army, WhiteRa's army is shrinking very much faster. Naugrim was able to upgrade his units 1-2 versus 1-1 for WhiteRa. WhiteRa now using those units better. One Colossi gets mind controlled by Naugrim. Naugrim now using that Colossi to his own advantage, and Naugrim's army shrinks to a minimum because WhiteRa did have more in the end. Units everywhere still fighting off overlords, while WhiteRa's army continues to march up. Naugrim's, as we look at the units lost, Naugrim lost way more units, Colossi being way more cost effective. About 15 kills on every Colossi and still counting, while those Stalkers and those Immortals are doing their job pretty good as well. Naugrim says GG, good game. WhiteRa getting those Colossi up was really the turning point for him. He got that timing push correctly. He got the space from Naugrim. Naugrim should have pushed out when he saw the robotics. Did he see the robotics in the end? No, he didn't spot the main base of WhiteRa ever. I do not think that was a good thing. So he didn't know the Colossi were coming and he was overwhelmed. Stay tuned for game 2. I hope you guys enjoyed, and this will be Rebel signing out.